The House of Representatives has mandated its committees on aid, loans and debt management, capital market and institutions, and banking and currency to investigate the country's rising debt profile. This follows a motion raised by Representative Tajuddin Yusuf, which claims that the rise in debt profile of the country has led to growing economic instability, stifled growth, and stunted development. The motion further stated that there is a sharp increase in subnational borrowing in the last 3 years. The committee is expected to present its findings within 4 weeks for further legislative action. Well, the People's Democratic Party has accused the federal government of Nigeria of depletion and siphoning of 1.68 billion naira from the excess crude account. The party accuses President Buhari of superintending over what it describes as the surreptitious withdrawals from the ECA without recourse to the statutory appropriation of the National Assembly because funds are being frittered from the account to private proceeds of the cabal. Those are the words of the People's Democratic Party. Well, the federal government is already giving reasons for the withdrawal, and I guess the Minister of Finance responded to these at the briefing earlier today. Maybe my producer can make us listen to that.
Has recovered from recession. And we had 6 quarters of growth since then.
Well, we get that reaction to you on the excess crude account. Well, let's get back to the conversation now. And the thoughts of my guest on the program, Senator Shehu Sani and Honorable Adamu Abubakar, have been talking with us on the show tonight on the issues of the budget. Let me quickly go back to Honorable Adamu Abubakar from Niger State. You were reacting to the budget. Quickly, before we talk about the implication of borrowings to the 2019 budget, on the 2018 budget and the future of the country.
Now, thank you, Sean. What I'm trying to look at specifically is that look at the content of the budget, 8.8 trillion naira. Now, when you look at the budget at its context, about 4 trillion naira is going into wages and salaries, and about 2.1 billion is going into capital. About same 2.1 is still going into debt servicing. 1.86 is going into capital. 2.1 is going into debt servicing. We have statutory transfer and the rest. Now, what I want Nigerians to know, and we've been shying away from it, unless and until as a people and as a nation, we decide to become citizens of Federal Republic of Nigeria, not representing an enclave, that is when we can get out of this deadwood. This is a nation that only exists or is maintained by borrowing fund to fund capital project. What is wrong with us? When you look at Nigerian budget, I see it only as fund allocation. You realize most of the projects we fund, some are projects that are supposed to be funded by state, some are supposed to be project funded by the local government. How can a nation have a national development when all these are inserted? Who makes Nigerian budget? The civil servant, sometimes the ministers. In the past, before the democracy went into the deadwood, during the Shagari administration, the political class, the party men, the members of the nation, and all stakeholders sit down to design budget. But today, after the military administration, we have come with the military mentality where budget is being prepared by the civil servant. And the civil servant always want to be proud. I have taken a particular project to my village. I have taken this to my village. Therefore, the budget is not used for national development. Rather, it is used to achieve status by people who are opportune. You look at it, in 2016, we were the advocate of budget party in National Assembly. Today, I have spent 3.5 years in National Assembly. I believe even if I'm in a university, I must have graduated. Now I realize these parties usually start by people in authority. They insert projects that these projects are not national in nature.
Honorable, let's hear from
anybody. You will see a lot of projects that are not supposed to be funded by the national.
All right, Honorable, let's hear from Senator Shehu Sani. Senator Sani, you are a chairman of a committee in the Senate looking into the issues of debt. And if you look at the breakdown of the 2019 budget, 2.140 trillion will go into debt servicing, a deficit of 1.853 trillion. Your colleagues in the House of Reps are already worried about the rate of debt and how much are we going about it. Are you afraid that what is contained in this budget and what we are facing in terms of debt is something that can worry us in the nearest future?
Well, Mr. Sheon, the problem we have here is that our experts are continuously and consistently confusing us. Here we are from a zero debt in the last 12 to 13 years, and we are rising to 22 point something billion dollar external debt, and we are still going to borrow more. Well, the argument advanced by experts is that we are still within a very safe limit. But what is happening is that if we keep borrowing, we are moving from a safe limit to an unsafe limit. So now the issue is that what is the difference between what we have here and what we used to have? Not much is this. It is still about relying on oil revenue to fund budget, relying on debt servicing, and now the new ingredient to it is that looted funds will also be used to fund the budget. There is a need to address this issue very well because it has become so easy for nations of the world to dump their money in Africa, and Nigeria being one of them, with low interest, sweet proposals, and then we then race into it. We borrow for everything, from railway tracks to runways to roads and to even hospitals. And the more we keep borrowing, we are simply sinking to nowhere. And for a budget like this, I expected that we should de-emphasize on borrowing. But certainly as a chairman of local and foreign debt, I know very well in the next few weeks, we will still have some requests to borrow. My issue is this. Can't we think of other ways of raising our revenue profile and then addressing our issues than for us to keep borrowing? Because each time you open the pages of newspaper, you hear heads of government parastatals making claims of generating billions and trillions of naira, and then we also keep borrowing. So the issues are contentious. We really need to put a ceiling to this. And as a chairman of a committee, I have problem most times trying to convince my members to even sign any further approval for any loan, even for state, not even for federal government, because it is rising, specifically from China. There is money with low interest, and then we keep borrowing, and then we borrow. But there are issues we can borrow for when we know very well that those infrastructure will repay the debt. But it is not going to that direction as far as I'm concerned.
Senator, we are definitely out of time, but I must sincerely thank you both for your interventions tonight. Senator Shehu Sani, PRP in Kaduna State, and Honorable Adamu Abubakar of Niger State APC. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for talking to us on the program. Well, that's our show today, everyone. Many thanks for being part of it. I'm sure Kimale. Bye-bye.